They are rallying against widespread corruption in the KP Sharma Oli government and a recent ban on 26 major social media platforms including Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp and YouTube. While the government says the ban is due to regulatory non-compliance, protesters see it as an effort to silence dissent and limit freedom of expression. The protests began peacefully but quickly escalated, with demonstrators breaking police barricades near the parliament. While the youth demand transparency, accountability, and the restoration of their digital rights, they condemn the corruption and lavish lifestyles of political elites, while many Nepalis face economic hardship. This movement is driven by young people under 28 mobilizing online and offline with slogans like #WakeUpGenZ, calling for systemic reforms to end nepotism and misuse of state resources.
And chanted slogans against KP Sharma Oli, the Prime Minister of Nepal. The state responded with a crackdown. They fired rubber bullets, tear gas and water cannons. At least 19 protesters have died. 19. The controversial ban was imposed last week. Nepal banned platforms like X, Facebook, Instagram and WhatsApp. The government introduced new rules to regulate these platforms. They were required to register with the government. The platforms refused to comply, so Nepal banned them. This angered the Gen Z population of the country. Many of them marched in protest today. They say this ban impacts their livelihoods and their future. It is not just about social media, it's about much more. Needless to say, this has had a political fallout. Just a short while back, Nepal's Home Minister resigned. He says he's taking moral responsibility for the death of protesters. Here's a report.
Vehicles set on fire. Broken windows and shattered glass. There are stones and debris everywhere. And the air is filled with clouds of tear gas. This is not a war zone. This is Nepal. Thousands of young people took to the streets across the country today. They chanted. They marched. They broke past police barricades. And they stormed the parliament gates. Security forces responded with tear gas and rubber bullets. By the end of the day, at least a dozen protesters were dead. Hospitals have been overwhelmed by the injured. The trigger behind the protests was a ban. Last week, the government of KP Sharma Oli banned over 24 social media platforms. From X to Instagram, even Facebook, WhatsApp and YouTube. The reason was non-compliance. These companies failed to register with the Nepali government. The requirement came after a Supreme Court order last year. Each platform was asked to appoint a local contact and name an officer to handle user complaints. They did not comply, so the government pulled the plug. Critics of the new registration law say this is not about compliance, it's about control. They are calling it a crackdown on dissent, one that's disguised as regulation. For the Gen Z of Nepal, this ban is a personal one. For many of them, social media had become a source of livelihood. Nepal's digital youth rely on social media to work, create, and earn. The government's ban sparked anxiety among them, so they decided to protest. Observers say no political party was behind today's protest. Protesters spread the word through VPNs, and they mobilized in real time. But the Oli government remains dismissive of their voices. Yesterday, Nepal's Prime Minister defended the ban. He called it a matter of national sovereignty. Oli declared he didn't care if 2 or 4 people lost their jobs. For the protesters, those remarks only added fuel to the fire. Their anger goes beyond a social media ban. It's rooted in joblessness and in inequality. Unemployment remains high in the country. Around 2,000 Nepalis leave the country every day, according to an estimate. Most head to the Gulf of Malaysia. Others go west, chasing education, opportunity, or an escape. But those who remain, especially the youth, feel left behind. They see political leaders with access to greater resources. Many send their children abroad for education and work. Meanwhile, young citizens at home face limited opportunities. The ban has brought the Oli government's core challenge into sharp focus. A digitally connected generation, mobilized, vocal, and increasingly assertive. They are not waiting for political parties to deliver on their promises. They are pushing for change. They are organizing independently. Today, they were on the streets, at the gates of Nepal's parliament, and directly confronting the state authority.
See the youth facing off against the police forces. This is not just regular police, but also the armed forces, the paramilitary forces in Nepal who've now been deployed. And the visuals that we are getting on your screens right now, viewers, are of the young people, the protesters in Nepal, breaking not just barricades but also trying to enter the parliament premises. They're trying to break not just barricades but also the walls and the gates of the parliament area in Nepal. On your screens right now, viewers, is what has been happening in Nepal, the crackdown by the police and the face-off between the police and the protesters, who seem to be this seems to be an escalating situation, viewers, as the protesters are also turning violent. The protests are turning violent. Pranay continues to be with me on this. Pranay, if you see the visuals that we are getting from Nepal, how are you seeing this? What are you picking up from your sources on the ground situation in Nepal right now? Because it's clearly escalating.
You know, Anisha, this is a nightmarish situation for any government. If people start, clashing with the security forces, if security forces have to fire against their own people, then this is a very dangerous situation for any government to handle. And currently, what I'm learning from our sources in Kathmandu, that the government has called an emergency meeting to review the security situation. This is for the Oli government to make a call whether they want to concede to the demands of these protesters, how to handle the situation. As I mentioned that, this has become a rallying point. We have seen what has happened in Sri Lanka, how things, panned out in Dhaka. Everything started with the protest, and that too student protest. And in Dhaka, in August 2024, we have seen that, how government got changed. In Bangladesh, we have seen that how, Mahinda Rajapaksa government got removed when the people started protesting on the streets, and there were the clashes between the security forces and people entered the President House. So God forbid if that is a situation, what we are witnessing in Kathmandu, but definitely the situation remains very volatile, situation remains very risky. People are already there on streets, despite the Oli government's decision to impose curfew in Kathmandu. People are not budging down, people are not going back to their homes, and the forces are there on street. So far there is only report of one death, but there are 8 people, those who got injured. Many of them have been hospitalized, and protesters are still there on street, and various government properties have been vandalized, and this protest, we are being told that this protest is not limited to the capital city of Kathmandu. Anisha, the protests have already spread.
All right, Pranay, stay on with me. We are getting some breaking news that's just coming in. The death toll from these protests has risen now to 2. 2 dead and 80 injured in Nepal's violent protests. This is the information that is just coming in. Nepal remains on the boil as protesters continue to clash with the police forces. At the moment, what we do know is that the death toll has increased now to 2 persons dead, 80 plus injured. People have been taken to the local hospitals in Kathmandu, and as my colleague Pranay was just talking about, this is not just limited to the capital city. The protests have extended now to several other areas in Nepal. The protesters also tried to enter the parliament complex. They've also tried to enter other government buildings and in other government areas. Many have been injured due to the police firing at the moment. Pranay continues to be with me on this story. Pranay, the death toll has now increased to 2 people dead, 80 plus injured in the violent protests that are still going on. What more are you picking up from your sources? You just mentioned that the Nepali government, the Oli government, has called for an emergency meeting to consider what they will be doing. What more do we know about how they're dealing with these protests?
Not only that, Anisha, just a while ago I spoke to the former Foreign Minister of Nepal, Upendra Yadav, and he told me that the government of Nepal has wrongly put this ban, and now they have to roll back this ban. As a political party, they are also demanding a rollback on this decision, and the use of force against the youth of Nepal shouldn't be there.
Kathmandu decided to ban social media platforms.
जल रही है चिता, सांसों में है धुआं, फिर भी आसमान में है जगी। भोर होगी क्या कभी यहाँ, पूछती यही ये बेड़ियां। देख तो